Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins, and the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? I want to confess that I have been eating my own blood. Please keep my identity as a secret. I am a lady who is aged 23 years old, and I confess to be eating my own period blood. It all started as a fetish. Now I can see that it is totally getting out of hand. I started by smelling my used menstrual pad to see if it was mild or stinky. I think that is how I developed the habit of eating my own period blood. What I do not understand is, do I have an eating disorder, or if this thing, it is just demonic? One day when my pee came, I just thought to myself, and I said, let me smell my pad, because previously I had a dream whereby I was eating my own blood. I then felt this urge to lick it, and the taste was not that bad. In fact, I found it very satisfying on the very first day, to my surprise. So I decided that I would no longer use like those menstrual pads, that ones that we use. Rather, I started to buy these things that they call your sanitary cups, as it will be easier for me to feed on the blood and less messier too. After feeding on the blood, I feel very satisfied and full. Now I get excited each and every time when I start to get these cramps in my stomach, and they'll be like showing me that my days to be on my periods are about to come. As the joy that I get, it is just undescribable. Am I normal? Am I under the influence of a demon? Do I have an eating disorder? Does anyone does these things that I am doing, or it is only I amongst the more than 1 billion people that are living in this world right now? I once went on an iron supplement, but that did not help me, because I still crave my own blood. Now it is so bad, it has gotten to the extent that during the time when I am not on my pee, I go to the bathrooms, straight to the disposal bin, and I hunt for these used sanitary pads, and I start to chew them. And the fresher they are, the better. The fulfillment that I get is just beyond words. I went to the dietitian and even doctors, but there is nothing that is wrong with me. But I didn't tell the doctor that this is what I was doing. I told the doctors that I had been craving for blood. That was when I was told that I had to take in some iron supplements, but it did not help at all. Each and every time when I get these sanitary pads, you just do not know how much joy there will be in my heart. Do I need deliverance? Some might ask if I sleep soundly at night. Yes, I do sleep like a baby too. What I need now is to be judged. Now I do not need that. I acknowledge that I do have a problem that is embarrassing to admit. So I just thought that by writing on this page, I may be able to get the help that I desperately so need. For now, I am not being choosy or picky. I just want to live a normal life and not to crave for this blood that comes out of human beings. It was bad enough eating my own blood. Now it has spiraled out of control, because I eat any sanitary pad that I come across, as long as it has this blood on it. Please, I'll be following in the comment section. Let me give you a little bit of a background so that you can understand where exactly am I coming from. My father, he was a sangoma, but then my brother became a pastor. But the way that my brother became a pastor, it was really strange, because on this other particular trip, he was said to have gone to visit his so-called spiritual father there in Nigeria. And when he came back, my brother was really different. He pretended as if me and him, we were not siblings. I still remember the day that I went to his house, because this is what we used to do when he had started his church. At that time, it was only a small tent in the community, whereby only those that knew him and felt sorry for him would come and attend his very small church. And then, so what I used to do was that me and my sister, we used to go and sleep over at my brother's house so that the following Sunday morning we could all go to his church. But on that day that I went as usual to sleep at my brother's house, but the way that he treated me, he totally ignored me and he went straight to his bedroom. And I wanted to ask him how was it like there in Nigeria, but he was not even interested in speaking with me and my cousin sister. Then later on at night, that was when we heard him. He was praying, and the way that he was praying, no one could even understand the language that he was using at that time when he was busy praying. This was somewhere around 3 a.m. And the next morning, when we woke up so that we can start to prepare to go to church, we used to start to prepare at around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. But on that day, he stopped us and he said that he was going to do everything himself. He prepared the breakfast and he prepared everything, even including ironing his wife's dresses. Then when we were about to go to church, that was when he said that he did not want us to go to church on that day because I was dirty. That was what he told me. He just said that you are dirty, you cannot come to church today. So I do not understand if my brother was the one who did these things to me. And from there on, when I had returned back home, at that time, I was still staying with my boyfriend. But the thing that started to affect me was that whenever I was on my period, then I'll start to have these cravings. I started to crave blood so much that I went to this other butchery before I had started to eat my own period blood. I went there and I told them that I wanted blood. So one of the butchermen who knew my father, he then gave me, this was like about a kg of fresh blood, and then I took the blood and I went with it back home. So I stored it in my fridge. So since I had a lot of friends, I started to make sure that none of my friends will visit me because I did not want them to see that in my fridge there was this other container that was full of fresh blood. That butcher told me that he had gotten it from this other container after they had slaughtered the meat that they had in their butchery. So this weird behavior of me going to ask for some blood, it became so much worse that he asked me if my father was the one who was requesting all of this blood, and I said that no, it is not my father. He then said, so who is requesting all of this blood, young girl? And I stopped going to that butchery. From there on, that was when I had that dream that I told you about, whereby I was just standing in the middle of the church and I was holding my sanitary pad. And then I started to eat this sanitary pad, but to my surprise, as I was eating this sanitary pad, it was really wonderful to taste, and I kept on hearing these voices that were hidden in that church, as if there were people that were hidden in that church that kept on telling me that I need to keep on eating this sanitary pad. Look, these pads, they taste really nice. So I kept on eating them. And when I woke up, that was when I found out that I was already on my periods. So I took the first sanitary pad and I placed it down there. Later on, when I felt that it was a little bit heavy, I removed it, and then to my surprise, I found myself sniffing. I just wanted to sniff what it smelled like, and it smelled so wonderful, as if it was chocolate. And then I just licked, and from there on, I started eating my own blood. Is there anything that is wrong with me? Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admins. Strange things do happen in this world. Just imagine eating your own sanitary pads. That is really scary. And the brother going to Nigeria to get to see his spiritual father, and when he comes back, he has some sort of powers to heal people. And the funny part about it, our dear sister said that the only miracles that he can perform is to make people's limbs to grow. Like if your hand is short, then the hand will, the other hand that will be short, it will grow so that it will become the same length with the other hand, as well as the legs. He can also heal you, but other illnesses, he does not have such power. This is just pure magic.